Okay, it's August 29th, 2024, and we're in the second segment of Mr. John J. Jeckovich's book, and it's entitled Their Mother's Sons. And we had a bunch of text messages we read in the first segment, and Mr. Jeckovich did a great job answering them. But before I start reading, what is your dog tag number?
420965.
Thank you. That's the key to open up this book and to have me start reading. You're looking well today. How are you feeling?
Good, good.
It's hard to believe you're knocking on the door of 100. This guy can read the newspaper with no glasses. If he shakes your hand, he can squeeze it so hard he'll knock you down. He is sharp as a tack, and also his knees gave out on him, but that's not stopping him. This guy takes a licking and keeps on ticking. He's been shot up, stabbed, bombed. He's been through everything, and he's still looking good at almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
The last minute or so we were talking about Mr. John J. Jeckovich as a young boy who took care of his mother, and he loved to read books each and every day. And ironically, his mother didn't want him to read books. She wanted him to be working around the house.
Too costly.
What's that?
Books were too costly.
How much were books?
Book a month?
Yeah.
One book was $4.75.
Wow. And then you'd had to hide your books because your mother didn't want to see your books. What did your mother say about your books?
She says that it's a waste of time and money. We're starving here, you're buying books.
Yeah. And so where did you ever have time to read the books? Where'd you have to hide?
I sat in the backyard, and the garage had an overhang. I stood there.
Didn't she come looking for you?
Well, when she wanted something, she come looking for me, yeah.
When doesn't she want something?
Yeah.
It seems like the list she gave you was a list that would have to have 10 handyman on.
Yeah.
The list was big, right?
Yeah, well, nobody did anything there for everyone was out.
Well, you had two able-bodied brothers. What happened?
Well, look, he was gone. He's gone. No problem with him. He's gone. He's drinking and everything else.
And so, what did your mother scolded you. Your mother scolded you almost daily for buying books and reading books. Did your mother discipline Lookie for drinking?
No, actually, when he puked all over the floor, I had to clean it up. She said, you don't get that cleaned up before you go to school, you're not going to have supper tonight.
Unbelievable. So he wasn't disciplined for drinking, nor he was not disciplined for puking after a hard night of drinking.
Yeah.
And you had to clean it up.
Yeah.
Did he read books?
Huh?
Did he read books?
Did he?
Yeah, was he a book reader?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Was your sister a book reader?
My sister? Nah, I don't think so, no.
How about your older brother? Was he a book reader?
Well, he's going to school, so he must be doing some book reading.
But it's an interesting fact you said about your brother. You passed your road test the first time around on Main Street, and your older brother took his road test, and what happened?
He had a good fire hydrant.
He hit a fire hydrant.
And he was teaching GIs how to drive.
That's unbelievable. So your older brother hit a fire hydrant. Of course, he failed his road test, but the crazy government assigned your brother to teach other GIs how to drive.
Yeah.
That's so fitting. That is so fitting. Unbelievable.
Well.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The incompetence of the government is unbelievable. Let's face it, most government workers are just nothing but parasites today. And they're just glorified welfare recipients.
Yeah.
And there's, 99.9% are totally useless, totally useless. And it's just amazing that we keep on hiring more and more and more. And their common language that these government workers do, especially in the DC, Virginia area. Oh my God, that's like the armpit of the world, DC and Virginia area. These workers, these government workers, are so incompetent and lazy. They use these terms many times a day. They'll say, it's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
It's not my job.
Yeah.
They have all these stupid sayings just to get out of work. Let's face it, most government workers today are parasites and nothing more than glorified welfare recipients. It's above my pay grade. It's not my job.
Yeah.
And they're always passing the buck.
I need more money.
I need more money.
Yeah.
It's not my job. Always passing the buck. I'd rather be in a prison camp in North Korea than live in parts of DC, Upper Virginia, and have these son of a bitches for my neighbors.
Yeah.
You know how lazy people they are?
Yeah.
And then to make matters worse, they say we have to get this long, big pension when they retire. They retire from doing nothing. We have to get this big pension when they retire from this government job.
Yeah,
They haven't done jack shit. But the best part of it, they say, because I sacrificed my job, my abilities in the private sector. But guess what? Companies like mine and other companies would never hire these son of a bitches.
No.
They would never hire them.
No.
Who would hire these son of a bitches? But then they just say, oh, I get this big pension right now because I sacrificed to the people of the United States my time in the private sector, which I could have made more money. Newsflash, no one would hire these degenerates. No one would hire these degenerates. And it goes on and on and on. Most of them are sociopath, lacking any empathy. They're kind of like sons and daughters that you think are great people, and then when the parent gets older, they abandon that elderly person like a rat on a sinking ship. They abandon that parent like a rat on a sinking ship. There's no doubt about it. So we're talking about almost 50 years of your retirement. And also we mentioned a couple times that you're 100 years old and you're doing quite well physically, financially, and everything in between, and you have great support. But interesting thing, when we talked about your retirement, a lot of youngsters, or not youngsters, a lot of younger people don't understand how expensive and how old and how hard it is becoming old. Getting old is not for wimps.
No.
Getting old is not for wimps. And it's almost a given that you will outlive your money. You'll outlive your money. For example, someone said the other day, I have my house paid for and I have $1 million in the bank. And I say, I wouldn't want to be you. I wouldn't want to be you because you will outlive your money. You outlive your money. Let me give you a brief example. If you're into a halfway decent assisted living and everything is ads on, like you buy a car, you get ads on, everything in assisted living, I'm finding out through my research that if you're assisted living, it's from a decent place, is between $10,000 to $15,000 a month. $10,000 to $15,000 a month. But there's a lot of add-ons. You have other expenses besides all that. But that's just a starting point. But if you want to live at home, for example, And if your knees are blown out, which most people over 80, their knees are shot, you need help. You need help going to the bathroom, taking a shower, dressing, cooking. Now it entails a lot more work, correct?
Yeah.
But your knees are blown out. So if you want to live at home, you would need two people, two decent people. It's hard to get bad people because in the health profession, you're nothing more than a human cash register. It's hard to get people with a heart. Most of them are just cold people
Yeah.
in it for a buck. But if you're lucky, and you get two people that have a big heart, they'd have to be with you 24/7, 7 days a week. And that'll run you between $38,000 and $40,000 a month. So by giving that example to you, that you said, my house is paid for and I have $1 million in the bank, you'll outlive your money in 2 years. You'll outlive your money in 2 years. And then you have this great big brainstorm. Oh, I have children, and they'll help me. So now you have the illusionary notion that you have a family. Let me say that again. Now you have an illusionary notion you have a family. But guess what? When there's time involved,
There's
and
no
there's money
family.
involved, what happens, Mr. Jeckovich?
Huh?
When a family member has to put in time or money, what do?
They're gone. They're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Aren't they just
Look
like...
at Tom wrote that phone.
Yeah.
Called me out on the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to bother with you. You better not bother me.
yeah,
Blank, blank, he told me that.
Yeah. And didn't your wife say when she was alive, the other son, they haven't heard from him in 10 years?
JK, yeah.
What did your wife say?
My wife said, how come JK's not called? She worried about him for 10 years when she was alive. He never showed up. Never came down. Then he man of the year down there.
No kidding.
Man of the year down there, yeah.
Let me understand it. Man of the year, but he abandoned his mother and father.
Pardon?
He was a man of the year wherever he is,
Yeah.
but he abandoned his mother and father.
Yeah.
That's a mortal sin.
He's a man of the year down there.
Holy shit.
Niagara Falls, New York, yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't know that. So, getting back to the facts of retirement, it's expensive. It's not for whims. And if you do have that illusionary notion that your family will step up, good luck. You have a better chance of winning the lottery. You have a better chance of winning the lottery. And I want you people to text me on this. I want you to text, how did you make, retired people, I want you to text, how did you make out with your family? Did you get lucky and get one of your family members to support you financially and put in 6 or 7 hours a day? Or was it like we're talking about now, the majority of them have abandoned you like a rat on a sinking ship?
They'll call you, don't bother me.
Or what?
They'll call you up and say, don't bother me.
Don't bother me, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a mortal sin, and they'll pay. That's a mortal sin. God will punish these people. God will punish these people. So they're so involved in their little tiny lives that they can't take care of their parents when they get old. It's just an absolute shame. It's an absolute absolute shame. Words can't describe it, but I do know it's a mortal sin. So, for those looking to retire, you might want to rethink it, and go a step further. But anytime you have any questions for Mr. Jeckovich, or maybe comments, if your comments are realistic, text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000. Text Mr. Jeckovich any question you wish at 407-366-0000. And if you're from the great state of South Carolina, it's at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. So I guess you're having a pretty good day today.
Yeah.
I didn't read all the text messages that came from females that thought you're pretty damn handsome. We're going to leave that aside. We're not going to read those. We're not going to read those text messages.
Why?
Because they said you're handsome, you're a great guy. We're not going to puff you up too big.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the hardcore questions. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going to read. Hey, I'm not going to read all that stuff. You had 3 girlfriends in the Army. You don't need no more right now. You don't need no more girlfriends right now, right? Life is complicated enough at 100 years old. I said life is complicated enough at 100 years old. You don't need no more girlfriends.
As you get older, it gets complicated.
Yeah, and that reminds me of a Cuban gentleman I once known, and he'd walk past my business every day. He was a little bit over 102, maybe 120, 103. A great guy. He spoke in broken English. He came to the United States in the 70s or 80s on the boat lift in Miami. But he was in fine health. He'd walk past me almost every day. So one time I stopped him, and I said, "What the hell is your secret to longevity? What is your secret to longevity?" And you know what he told me? The complete opposite what you told me. You know what he told me? He said, "My secret to longevity is this. As soon as I get up in the morning, I have 6 or 7 strips of bacon. During the course of the day, I might smoke 4 to 6 Cuban cigars. And at night, I always have 3 or 4, 2, 3 shot rum drinks." I said to him, "That's everything you're not supposed to do." He goes, "Yeah, well, doctors told me for 40, 50 years to stop. I didn't. I buried all the doctors already that told me to stop." He said, "My secret to longevity was very simple," he told me. Even though he does everything against nature, and by rights he should have been dead 50 years ago. He says, "My secret to longevity is simple. I never got married, no stress. I never got married, no stress." That's what he said, his secret to longevity.
And no responsibility.
Yeah, he said he never got married, no stress. And that's what he said. I guess it worked for him. And it worked for you to talk and knock on the door of 100. You didn't smoke. You didn't drink. And you exercised daily. And you ate right. So everyone's got their own different formula. Anyone, whatever works for them, works for them. But I wonder where that Cuban guy is today. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, but knowing how tough that 5'4", 5'5" guy was, stocky fella, I'm sure he's out there somewhere still walking. His knees didn't give out. His knees didn't give out. So that's an interesting story. What would you like to talk about, or you want me to read? You want to say?
No, we're going to get on the phone.
Yeah, but how many minutes we got? We're gonna. We got to finish this segment. How many minutes?
Go ahead, read that. Go ahead.
11.
Okay, we only have 11 minutes. Could you just take it? I'm not going to ask you more questions. We'll let these two questions go. And here we go. We're on page 468 with Mr. John J. Jeckovich reading his book. He's leaving the service. As the driver pulled away, I glanced and looking at the storefronts. I've seen 1,000 times before. He's entering Niagara Falls now. Somehow, it all looked different. Or more to the point, my perspective had changed and I had something to relate to. I thought of my trips on the Metro Paris bus, where everything seemed bright and alluring. He said, it seemed dull and commonplace. I reflected a moment on Anne and then Jean, and how different their worlds were from mine. I knew that I was correct in my instinct and not bringing either of them home with me.
Yeah.
Why was your instinct correct?
Huh?
Why was your instinct correct?
My mother.
What about your mother?
Well, my mother was a victim.
Right off the bat?
Yeah.
An interesting point, you're getting back to Niagara Falls and you're taking a bus, but we read in previous chapters we're at the hospital base recovering, which was 30 miles north of Paris. In order to see Renee, you'd have to take a bus, a train, and then a taxi cab. All to see Renee.
Yeah.
All to see Renee. So you had 3 modes of transportation to, and 3 modes of transportation back to the base.
Yeah.
With all these modes of transportation, it's easy to be late. Were you ever late at the base?
No. Roll call, I made every roll call.
What happens if you didn't make roll call?
Well, they probably wouldn't say it. They would be 5 minutes late.
How about if you missed it by a couple hours?
If you didn't show up for 2 or 3 days, you're AWOL.
And then they come after you.
Yeah, they come after you,
And a
yeah.
lot of the young GIs go AWOL in Paris.
Came out of?
There are a lot of young GIs go AWOL in Paris.
Oh, yeah. They never come back. They go some farm and hide out in there the rest of their life.
And they never left.
Yeah.
So they're just marked as missing in action.
Yeah.
Marked as missing in action. When you were in Paris, as now, Paris has a lot of crime and black markets. Was there black markets in Paris?
I didn't particularly know. I didn't know anything about it.
Did you see a lot of black markets?
Well, yeah, a lot of GIs were doing it too.
GIs were involved?
Yeah.
What happens if they would have got caught by the MPs?
Well, the MPs are upsetting what the circumstances were. They go to jail.
So what were some of the GIs selling?
They were selling their uniforms. They were selling stuff they stole out of the PX for the Army and that. They stole stuff from the Army.
So they definitely went to the brig.
Yeah.
Wasn't worth it.
No.
It wasn't worth it. Back in Niagara Falls, as the bus passed the Lower East Side, I saw the Capitol Theater where I once ushered. It looked dismal and run down, not the glowing place I made it out to be where I worked. So when you're there, you thought it was a great place. You thought it was beautiful. But as you had a chance to see the world,
Yeah.
you're coming back, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
What were some things you remember about the Capitol Theater?
Capitol Theater.
What do you remember about it?
Steiner and Cataract theaters. There were twin theaters. They were good theaters. Yeah.
What about the owners?
They were Greeks.
And how'd they treat you?
John, you got to clean that up. Saturday was bad because the kids, you see those mystery movies at night, in the morning, they piss all over the floor.
Why would the kids on a Saturday morning piss all over the floor?
They got excited.
Okay. And then it was your job to get them up?
And he said, John, you're sticking the whole place up.
Wait a minute. They said, John, you're sticking the whole place
Yeah, I'm sticking. Well, he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it.
But why were you sticking the place up? You weren't the one doing that. And what kind of movies could they watch that these kids?
They had a serial. They had, let's see, movies on people in Europe, not history, people that live there.
Was the movie theaters packed?
With kids?
With just anybody, was it?
Well, the movie theater Saturday and Sunday was packed. They put the ropes up. I had to go up and down the aisle with a flashlight.
Oh, so you had to take your flashlight and find wherever there was a seat.
Empty seat and then flash it out.
And stick the kid in it.
Yeah.
In an empty seat. Was being such a crammed theater, was there any fights?
No, there were no fights. The Saturday and Sunday was the busiest. The weekdays were normal. My mother went to the other one. She got the plate every Tuesday.
Oh, explain that to us, what your mother did.
I went with her Tuesday afternoon to Thursday night to the one on Paul Street to get a plate.
What did she do? What type of plate are you talking about?
Dinner plate.
Okay, so if your mother went to the movie theater, they're giving out a different plate every week.
Yeah, Tuesday, yeah.
And so your mother was making a collection of them.
She's making a set.
A set. So basically what you would do, you buy your ticket and they give you a plate. Is that how it works?
No, you buy a ticket and then when you go out, they give you the plate.
And what?
When you get in there, you buy your ticket and then you get the plate when you're going up because they figure you sit there, you drop the damn plate, break it, and you want another
I
plate.
didn't think of that. That makes a lot of sense.
So you got the plate when you get out, yeah.
So did your mother get the full plate collection?
Oh, she did, yeah.
Did she use that for many years?
Oh, yeah. It was a good set.
Describe to me what it looks like. What does it look like? Do you remember?
Well, it was an expensive plate, expensive set. It was good porcelain, good pictures out of it and everything else.
So your mother used those plates for the rest of her life.
Oh, yeah.
Where are those plates today?
Good Lord knows where everything is, where anything is now. No, we can't find nothing.
What would you guess happened to everything?
What?
What would you guess happened to everything?
The what?
You say you don't know where anything is. What would you guess happened to all these things?
Who knows? Somebody got them and sold them.
You don't have any guess?
Huh?
Any guess what could have happened to them? Who would have done that? I don't know anyone that would have took an elderly.
They didn't have any what?
I don't know of anyone that would have took an elderly person's plates. What kind of person would have done that?
No, they weren't stealing the plates. No, my mother would go, I would go on Tuesday and get a plate. But somebody wouldn't come and steal that plate, no.
But I'm asking you now, where are those plates today?
Oh, I don't know where anything is at. No, they probably stole the plates because she had to sit at home, and whether her one in-law got it or son got it or something, I don't know.
Minutes?
3.
So that was very interesting. So that was a plate of the week club.
The what?
That was a plate of the week club. That was pretty interesting. Did you get a plate too?
No, no, she was getting the plates.
What? Did your mother like the movie?
Well, she sat there. Oh, yeah, it's the whole movie, yeah.
She loved it. Did your mother eat popcorn and soda pop?
No, not really, no.
So was that a big thing when you were working as an usher? Soda pop, popcorn, candy, stars?
Oh, when I was an usher,
Yeah.
no, my big deal was getting the seats,
All right, but
empty seats.
I'm asking if the refreshment bar was very busy during your time.
Oh, the refreshment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, kids come in, sometimes they come with their own stuff.
Is that allowed?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know today, in today's time, how things changed in over 80-some years. Today, a movie theater sells a ticket. That's just like even money. They give that to the studios. But the only way that most movie theaters make money today is by selling you a 10-cent drink of Coca-Cola for $5,
Yeah.
or a 40-cent bag of popcorn for $6.
Yeah, you go down the front room and buy the stuff in the hallway there, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how things have changed back then. I imagine you could go to a movie back then for nothing, for pretty close next to nothing.
Yeah.
So were these Greek owners, did they take care of the place nice?
Who?
These Greek owners of the movie theater, when you worked, did they take care of the property nice?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Took care of it. Was it two brothers?
There were two, but they didn't do the work, they hired somebody.
How'd they get along with each other?
Huh?
How these two Greek brothers get along with each other?
Well, they took one section of the section to do the theaters there, and the other one did the other section. They didn't live together either.
So they got along fine.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Many times, I seen on the movies, on TV, back in the day, the movie theaters were highly decorated, and they had a balcony. Did yours have a balcony?
Yeah, balcony upstairs, yeah.
And in the balcony, was smoking allowed?
Sometimes there were, the more modern theaters were, yeah.
Did most of the men smoke?
Well, that's where they went upstairs.
Did most of the ladies smoke?
No, they didn't smoke when I was there, no.
Just the men?
Yeah.
Were you said you could bring your own things in. Were the men allowed to bring beer or liquor in?
No, nothing, no.
Couldn't do that?
No.
30 seconds.
Oh, that's interesting. How long did you work there for?
Huh?
How long did you work there for?
As an usher?
Yeah.
Probably 3 years.
Yeah, you must have really enjoyed it.
Nah, I really didn't like it,
You
no.
must remember it every movie.
Well, you got to see all the movies.
You got to see all the movies.
Huh?
You got to see all the movies.
Yeah, but I see the same movie over and over and over again for a week. That movie don't change every day.
Was
5 seconds.
That is interesting.